Independent, locally owned New Orleans bookstore, Octavia Books, offers author events, book signings, and hand-picked titles for all ages. OctaviaBooks.com.
Criollo Restaurant offers a culinary adventure prepared by a tiny animated French chef. A 5-course dinner experience comes to life at each place setting using projection mapping. Located in the historic Hotel Monteleone. Learn more at criollonola.com.
This program is supported in part by a community arts grant made possible by the City of New Orleans as administered by Arts New Orleans.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area. Steppin Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
From jazz to jambalaya, theater to galleries.
Steppin Out brings you the best of our local arts and culture scene each week.
Let's step up and step out. Together, keeping WYES strong.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin' Out, with updates from the local restaurant, arts, and entertainment scenes. Joining me, Poppy Tooker, host of Louisiana Eats on WWNO Radio. Hey, Miss Poppy.
Hey, Peg.
Hello. Making his Steppin' Out debut, Shane Urton, internationally known dancer and choreographer, mostly choreographer these days, here focusing on the Marigny Opera Ballet's new presentation, Homecoming. So exciting, a collaboration with the band Stui Crude. All right. Alan Smason, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News and theatercriticism.com. And he's back, Stephen Montalvo, who is the executive director of the Louis Moreau Institute for New Music Performance. So good to see you.
Great
Hello.
to see you.
And a little later, Irish balladeer Danny O'Flaherty be here to sing and preview his concerts coming up. And of course, we start with food and all kinds of great things in the Shia household.
Oh my goodness. You know, I really think that Emily and Alan Shia have hit the big time with their new place, Safta's Table. Everything is perfect. The branding, they're calling it Neighborhood Mediterranean. That's a whole new thing. They're serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner out there 7 days a week. Every detail is perfect. You know, that Pomegranate Hospitality is the name of their overall company. And from the red and white striped awning, now this is right there out at West End and Allen Toussaint Boulevard, right next to Robert's. There's a lit up neon pomegranate when you walk in the door. If you go to their website, it's animated and it's kind of dropping seeds as it moves along. But everything is just perfect.
And named after a grandmother, is that?
Well, Safta means grandmother.
Means grandmother, okay.
And so, you know, for breakfast, there's things like salmon on bagels and avocado toast, all the way to buttermilk pancakes and a spinach feta barreca, which I'd never had before. That's that cut-up thing, right? Delicious. They have specialty coffees, even a Kitticino hot chocolate. And, you know, Emily and Elan have 2 small children. And that's what I want to tell you. They have hit it out of the park. It is the ultimate place to go with kids. The kids menu is brilliant. Buttered noodles with an optional add-on menu. Nobody's got that. There's weekend brunch where you can get Turkish-style eggs with garlic labneh and harissa butter with pita. There's a full-on deli-style bagel and fish platter. They also serve cocktails, Bloody Marys and mimosas for brunch, and there's Negronis and old-fashioned and beer and wine, and you can move from lunch right into dinner or happy hour with absolutely delicious, yummy things like spiced lamb ragu or a Metz's sampler. There's roasted lamb, chicken schnitzel, a roasted chicken plate with sides, a delicious chopped salad. Their falafel is the best in town, and you can get that from breakfast right through dinner. They also have non-alcoholic spritzers, like with ginger basil or a pomegranate rose spritz. They're delicious. The food is perfect. And all I can tell you is bring the little ones. I brought this with me to show you. When you walk in the door, here is the adorable kids menu. And they have little crayons right at the cash register. It's fabulous. I can't say go enough. Go to Softa's table. It looks very replicable. You could have one in your neighborhood one day. Now, of course, next Thursday is St. Joseph's Day. And, you know, there's altars all over town in churches and schools and even private homes. An altar I'd never heard about until this year is the Credo and Blanchard families have a full-on altar at Rock and Bowl from noon until 5 p.m. and donations will all go for Osnam Inn. Now, the following Thursday, March the 26th, this event always sells out. So I wanted to remind people that it's time for an edible evening, celebrating 20 years of New Orleans' own edible schoolyard with a patron party starting at 6 p.m. It is the ultimate garden party. It's so beautiful there. And then the regular party starts at 7 till 10. There's 45 local restaurants serving food and cocktails and wine and beer. There's live music, there's dancing, truly all uptown at the loveliest garden party you could ever imagine.
Sounds great. Thank you, Poppy. Moving on to Stephen, you've got two very special concerts coming up. Give us a little preview.
Well, yeah, this year we are not only welcoming a new class of Institute artists, but we're also welcoming a new artistic director. He's playing two really wonderful programs that I think we're going to be very excited to present to New Orleans audiences. And
All right, we've got some photos and we've got sort of the rundown of both concerts too.
That's right.
So we'll proceed. And we've got Christopher Hertz and Adam Savage among them?
Yeah, Christopher Hertz is going to be playing violin and Adam is going to be playing viola for us. We're going to be joined by two cellists this year. One is going to be a former Institute artist named Brie Ahern, and then also Dana Rath.
And that's your new music director, huh?
That's right,
Yeah.
Wesley Ducote. We're actually very excited and thrilled to announce that he was recently named principal keyboard of the Houston Symphony Orchestra, so that's a huge accomplishment for him. Very excited. And he's playing two wonderful concerts. We're going to be doing a concert at Cafe Istanbul, and we're going to be actually inviting some members of the LPO to join us. We're going to be joined on stage by oboist Virginia McDowell and violinist Cassidy Franzmeyer. It's going to be a wonderful program of 20th and 21st century classics. And then we're going to be doing a concert at the New Marigny Theater, and it's going to be all artworks that are inspired by visual artworks. And so I think the centerpiece of the program is going to be Stephen Hartke's The King of the Sun. It's inspired by a Dutch, the painting titled Dutch Interior.
Oh, I love that.
By
So
Juan
in the
Miro.
first one, in terms of the rundown for it, you have Alan Berg, and this is music by these composers. Here we go.
Yeah.
Wow. But I couldn't help but notice Jelly Roll Morton. Tell us about that.
Yes, every year we do a structured improvisation by our artists on a traditional New Orleans tune. And we've done tracks in the past by Dr. John and Wynton Marsalis.
Great idea.
And this year's selection was Jelly Roll Morton and Wine Boy Blues. Very excited to hear what our artists are going to be doing with that. They're working off an arrangement created by Wesley Ducote, and then they're going to be obviously playing their own improvisations.
And what
on
a
it as
great
well.
location, Cafe Istanbul.
Oh, yes. We're excited. This is the first year that we're going to be at this venue, and we're very excited to be presenting concerts there. I've been to concerts at the Cafe Istanbul in the past, and they've always been wonderful. I think it's a slept-on venue for contemporary
Chuck Perkins
classical
is great
music.
to work
for
with,
sure.
too. And then you're all going over to, there we talked about Virginia and Cassidy, there they are. And then over at the New Marigny Theater with The King of the Sun.
That's right. And we're, like I said, those are going to be a concert featuring works that are inspired by visual art. And so all of these works are tied to visual artworks that we've that you can see and that we're going to be having actually projected during the concert. And so that way audiences will be able to see the visualization and the inspiration for the works while they're hearing the music performed.
All right. So for more information, louismoreauinstitute.org. And
That's right.
you've been with them for quite a few years. Huh?
That's right. I've been with the organization since 2020. So
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. And moving over to Shane, kind of in that neighborhood, but a little bit further down, of course. Oh my goodness, the Marigny Opera House, the Marigny Opera Ballet. Ballet, I know, certainly Dave Hurlbert's one of his favorite things is ballet. And what a collaboration of you to come in to work with Sweet Crude. Tell us about this.
The collaboration started, I'm going to say, roughly a year ago. I'm based in Belgium. So I reached out to Diogo de Lima, who's the artistic director of the company, and we got in contact, and then we exchanged ideas back and forth at a distance for a while. And then he proposed working with Sweet Crude, which is a Cajun French band, for those that don't know, fantastic music. And then as we built ideas further, I started thinking about a sense of homecoming, which I've titled the piece. And for that sense of homecoming, it makes me center around themes of belonging and how being removed from one's home that can be loaded with a sense of melancholy and then the optimism of returning.
Before we go any further, though, thankfully, we have a clip from this. Let's take a peek at Homecoming. And Shane, we should point out they're in rehearsal clothes. This is a rehearsal.
Yes, ma'am. That's just my unprofessional rehearsal footage. Yeah.
No, but you did a great job, and it's a very sneak preview. So,
yeah, thank you.
You're also on a double bill, we should say, too.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
So this piece, Homecoming, is the second piece of the evening. The first piece is Un autre soir by Amalia Najira. So yeah, there's two pieces for the evening.
And this is your first time to New Orleans?
Yes, ma'am. I'm really blown away by New Orleans.
Gee, really?
Yeah.
And MarinyOperaBallet.org, of course, for more information. But let me just say, a really great time of the year for you to be here, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I find it helps me connect to my own sense of Southernness coming from North Carolina.
Well, you've been with the Joffrey Ballet. You are with the Flanders Ballet.
Yes, ma'am. Also the Royal New Zealand and Norwegian National Ballet.
You look like a little kid. Oh. You've been around. No, but congratulations. How does it feel to go from ballet dancer to choreographer? I mean, obviously that's inevitable as the years go by, but are you enjoying that process? Or?
Absolutely. It's definitely a learning curve. You take on many more responsibilities and you have to be in much more control over your communication style and what kind of leadership skills you have to develop along the way.
Wow, very good. Well, welcome to our table.
Thank you.
And moving on to Mr. Allen.
I'd like to think that Timothy Chalamet would like his ballet.
Yes.
So this has been the busiest week I have ever had as a theater critic in New Orleans. I've been to New York and been to a lot of shows, but I've seen more openings than an ear, nose, and throat doctor. The biggest show, though, coming, of course, is our second annual Crescent City Theater Awards, because I'm going to put in a plug for that. It's time for everybody who loves theater to please go to eventbrite.com and purchase tickets for what is going to be one of the grandest nights of celebration for our theater community. We'll have a full hour of food, fancy drinks, and then we'll head into the Rivertown main stage to recognize the best of our local theater for 2025 and to celebrate the careers of our 2026 Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Uncle Wayne Daguerrepoint, and our Theater Educator of the Year recipient, David Hoover. Tickets have just been lowered to $50 this it's time to help with our mission to help provide financial assistance to theater students and production companies. There you have that QR code to take you to get your tickets right now. Please do it. Now, on to what will be, unfortunately, short reviews of what has been on our local boards this week. First of all, I have to say, with all due reverence to Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera that I've seen at least 5 times previously, this production with Isaiah Bailey as the Phantom and Jordan Lee Gilbert as Christine Daae is the single greatest version of the show I've ever seen. And the rest of the cast, Daniel Lopez as Raoul, the Vicomte de Chagny, was superb. The rest of the supporting cast in numbers like Masquerade and Prima Donna are as crisp and sharp as the original recording that I fell in love with back in 1986. The biggest problem with Phantom is that the availability of tickets will be very, very small. It's largely sold out. So keep that in mind, but check it out. If you can get a ticket, go. The Jefferson Performing Arts, meanwhile, has a very big final weekend for Frozen this weekend. And I have to tell you that the kids will love this somewhat darker tale of 2 sisters, princesses, if you will, who let a little cold come between them. Micah DeSaulnier stars as Elsa there, based on the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale of the Snow Queen. And Melissa McKenzie nails the role of Anna, the all-too-trusting but sweet-natured sister who seeks to reunite with Elsa. And, of course, things have gone terribly wrong in Arendelle. Another crowd pleaser is Rachel A. Bate, who is wonderful as the puppeteer and the singing voice of Olaf the Enchanted Snowman. Final shows for the Scott Sauber production are this weekend, and it is a big production for JPAS. Now, meanwhile, the streets in the French Quarter around the Le Petit Theater are still torn up, but the excitement on stage with A.J. Allegra and Johnny Buisson's direction of Guys and Dolls makes this journey ever more worthwhile. So check it out. Stephanie Aubrey and Donald Jones there star as Sarah Brown and Sky Masterson, improbably matched because of a bet. Leslie Clavery stars as Miss Adelaide, opposite Michael Paternostre, in the role of Nathan Detroit, who runs a floating crap game. And, of course, the choreography by Jeanne Buisson is fantastic. The Luck Be a Lady number by itself is worth seeing over and over again. That show continues through March the 29th.
And they will be with us next week, Stephanie and Leslie.
Good. Okay. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
And meanwhile, it's time for all of you to curl your lips and shake your hips, because Rivertown Theaters is presenting a very enjoyable and musically solid version of the Elvis Presley musical jukebox, All Shook Up. That's Luke Buchwald right there. He has his first Rivertown starring role as Chad, the roustabout who sets the town on its ear. The show, which is steeped in Shakespearean references from comedies like As You Like It and Twelfth Night, also stars Maddie Plunkett as both Natalie and Ed. What impressed me above everything else about this show was the level of musicianship. This cast sings in harmony like few others on stage, and I have to say the direction is all very good. This show also runs until the end of the month, right before our gathering at the Crescent City Theater Awards. The show I want to talk to you, again, that is mostly sold out, the last one right now, but maybe coming back next year, as I understand, is a musical in both English and Spanish, and it weaves together a fictional set of characters that hail from both Cuba and New Orleans between the 19th century and present-day times. Carlota. It has dancing and singing. It tells the story of how family members broke away from the yoke of slavery, became involved in revolution, emigrated to New Orleans, and eventually returned to Cuba. The story is filled with adult situations, but many goat-in-the-road productions are very highly immersive, and this one is as well. Carlota will make you think about what life was like in Cuba and early New Orleans, and in fact, one of the characters is based on a previous character in the earlier production of The Stranger Disease about yellow fever. There you have some of the musicians who accompany all of the people on stage. It's a bit long, but it does have a satisfying finish, and it really pulls the work together. It's mostly sold out, but again, you may be able to snag a ticket or two before the closing. Again, Go the Road presents Carlota, a new musical. And lastly, Peggy, I wanted to mention the French Film Festival, one of the oldest foreign language film festivals in the United States. It's having its 6-day run at the Britannia Theater and other venues beginning on March the 19th. Now, of course, director Jean Cocteau's La Belle et Bête is The Beauty and the Beast, of course. It'll be shown twice, and a grant will allow admittance to a night on Monday, March the 23rd, to see 2 Holocaust-related films. First off is Inked, and then the animated film, The Most Precious of Cargoes. Again, it's free, but you need to register at New Orleans Film Society. That's NOFS.org in order to get your admission to that festival.
All right, thank you so much. And of course, in time to celebrate St. Patrick, Danny O'Flaherty will perform this weekend and later this month. Here he is to give us a preview. It is truly always a joy to be with Danny O'Flaherty, and he has a busy week and next few weeks coming up. What can we expect in your show?
A lot of laughter, sing along, happy songs, drinking songs. It's going to be fun.
And also songs that you actually composed, huh?
Yeah, a lot of the songs would be my songs as well. But this one, I'm going to go back to the 60s, Clancy Brothers, Tommy Makem, and make everybody happy.
Very good. Tell us what you're going to play for us.
Going to do a song we wrote called St. Patrick's Anthem.
All right, take it away. Thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you so much. We will follow in his footsteps, we'll toast St. Patrick's Day. Hand in hand together, he surely paved the way. From Dublin to Boston, Sydney and New York. Hey, many folk will tell you, he came from the county Cork. When he was a little boy across the ocean wave, Milcho and his raiders, they took him as a slave. Across the sea to Ireland for 7 long years or more, till in a dream he heard the call to leave old Ireland's shore. We will follow in his footsteps, we'll toast St. Patrick's Day. Hand in hand together, he surely paved the way. From Dublin to Boston, Sydney and New York. Hey, many folk will tell you, he came from the county Cork. And as the years went onward, he heard the call once more. Oh, come back to Warren, Hook Shea Bannock galore. Upon the hill of Tara, he lit the eternal flame, and pagans from all quarters sang praises to his name. We will follow in his footsteps, we'll toast St. Patrick's Day. Hand in hand together, he surely paved the way. From Dublin to Boston, Sydney and New York. Hey, many folk will tell you, he came from the county Cork. To celebrate St. Patrick's Day, we wear our green and gold. This land of saints and scholars, his story will be told. So prayers shall not proudly be Irish for a day, and St. Patrick, he will bless you in the good old Irish way. We will follow in his footsteps, we'll toast St. Patrick's Day. Hand in hand together, he surely paved the way. From Dublin to Boston, Sydney and New York. Hey, many folk will tell you, he came from the county of Cork. We will follow in his footsteps, we'll toast St. Patrick's Day. Hand in hand together, he surely paved the way. From Dublin to Boston, Sydney and New York. Hey, many folk will tell you, he came from the county of Cork.
Danny is performing at Deutsches Haus, of course, right? On Moss Street this Sunday at 2 p.m. Deutscheshaus.org for tickets and info. He'll also be performing at St. Patrick's Day, on St. Patrick's Day at 7 p.m. and then Sunday, March the 29th at 2 p.m. at Playmakers Theater in Covington. For Danny info, DannyO'Flaherty.com. Time for our picks. Alan.
Well, the New Orleans Opera Festival is coming a little over a week and a half away. While the Rosenkavalier has been rescheduled, there's still quite a lot to offer this week of opera offerings. First of all, there's Poulenc's amazing Dialogues of the Carmelites, set in the French Revolution and being staged at the oldest structure in the Mississippi River Valley Ursuline Convent. And they'll be enjoying 2 evening performances and a matinee show on Saturday, March the 28th. That same night, the City of New Orleans Riverboat will be the site for a staging of Showboat that celebrates its 100th anniversary next year. And also, Carlisle Floyd's Pilgrimage will be held as an actual pilgrimage through sites in the French Quarter on the closing day. I'll see you at the theater.
All right, Poppy.
Well, it's time again for more St. Joseph's info at the International House Hotel. They're again having their big altar, and they're going to have for the first time the Judgment of Sorrento, which is going to be a limoncello contest with house-made limoncellos, Italian Barrel, Osteria Lupa, Tana, Loa, and Vincent's will all be competing, and I'm the MC.
Woohoo! All right, and now my picks. WYES is headed to Covington for the North Shore Spring Fling, a party at the home of Tanya and Trevor Walker with food and drink from Aquistapese's and Lee's Confectionery, plus entertainment and a silent auction. Tickets start at $100 and proceeds directly benefit WYES. Yay. Please visit wyes.org/events for more info. And for more info about the Irish Channel Parade Saturday at 1 p.m. at Felicity and Magazine, The Start, and other parades in the area, go to St. Patrick's Day, NewOrleans.com. On Sunday, Margie Perez will be performing at the St. Patty's Day edition of the Piety Art Market held at the St. Peter and Paul on Burgundy, starting at noon. Also on Sunday, Oscar night. Phil Melanson, Chris Champagne, and Yvonne Lafleur will be on the red carpet at the Britannia on Britannia Street. View the TV show and enjoy live performances and refreshments. Part of the proceeds go to the American Red Cross, and the tickets go to Britannia.com. By the way, a reminder that the movie Sinners, which has a record 16 nominations, was partially filmed in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. St. Francis Xavier on Metairie Road will once again present their St. Joseph altar. Look at that! Wednesday, March 18th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then on St. Joseph's Day itself, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. with the feeding from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. that day, the 19th. WWLTV.com for a complete list of altars. Looking ahead, next week there is a Bayou State Escadrille Vintage Car and Aircraft Show, March 21st at the Hammond North Shore Regional Airport. Thank you all so much. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Independent, locally owned New Orleans bookstore, Octavia Books, offers author events, book signings, and hand-picked titles for all ages. OctaviaBooks.com.
Criollo Restaurant offers a culinary adventure prepared by a tiny animated French chef. A 5-course dinner experience comes to life at each place setting using projection mapping. Located in the historic Hotel Monteleone. Learn more at criollonola.com.
This program is supported in part by a community arts grant made possible by the City of New Orleans as administered by Arts New Orleans.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation promotes, preserves, and perpetuates music, culture, and heritage through programs, cultural, educational, and economic activities year-round. Learn more at jazzandheritage.org. This program is brought to you in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support education, the arts, and culture in the greater New Orleans area. Steppin Out is made possible in part by Susie and Pierre G. Villery.
From jazz to jambalaya, theater to galleries.
Steppin Out brings you the best of our local arts and culture scene each week.
Let's step up and step out. Together, keeping WYES strong.